Let's talk about Rhaenys for a second, because I was very surprised that she, like, the honor and integrity that she displayed in doing what she did in the face of her own feelings
Yeah.
was pretty incredible, because she acted on what she believed would have been the wishes of Corlys.
Yeah.
Despite the fact she believed pretty much the opposite. She doesn't like Rhaenyra. She didn't really like the fact that Rhaenyra came up desperately begging for her for a betrothal.
Right.
But she knew that that's what Corlys would have wanted in the moment. Now, I'm wondering if she regrets having made that decision. Because
her
when
brother-in-law
she's
was
staring,
murdered in front of her.
right, but I don't know how much love there is between the two of them.
Yeah.
But it was funny. They sort of migrated roles. So previously, Rhaenys was the one like, are you kidding me right now, Corlys? Like, they're clearly not our kids. Do you really want that farce to go on? He's like, yeah, I don't care. And then sort of she takes the role of Corlys once Corlys is out of the picture, and Vaemond takes her role. And he's like, what the hell are you doing here? Like, clearly this is not right. These aren't Velaryons. And she sort of acknowledges that, but takes up Corlys's sword and says, ultimately it doesn't matter, right? And I don't know. It was just interesting to see her carry that torch for him. But in that scene at the end, or after Vaemond is dead, where she's watching him be like mummified, essentially. What's going through her head, and what is she gonna do as a result of this?
I wonder if she's, number one, trying to figure out how to talk to Corlys about it. Because, I mean, that's what you're talking about with her seeing things through from what Corlys wanted. I think that's something that really defines the two of them, is their strong marriage. Like,
yes. We've
seen them obviously disagree, especially in the last episode. I mean, as a couple will when their child dies, but they're a really strong, united couple. And so it makes total sense that that's going to be her motivation, especially because her family is all she has. She didn't get the throne. And then, she believes her two children are gone. So all she has is Corlys. And so that's what she has to live for and abide by. So her sort of being like, yeah, I guess I'll just go with what Rhaenyra is saying. I think that makes total sense.
But it gives her a certain power. It changes her position. If you view all these characters as they age up, as people get killed off, as moving up from being the young generation with a bright future to middle management to you're either the king or you're a hanger-on to the king. She had this opportunity earlier in life where she was almost the ruler of the Seven Kingdoms. And then that came and went. And then she was a mom, and then she was sort of ruler of Driftmark. And for the last 6 years that she is ruled by default in Driftmark, the same way Alicent has ruled by default for 6 years. And she's not taken that side because I think she doesn't trust Alicent.
No.
It changes her position to almost push her brain and her mindset now that she doesn't have to worry about her kids. She doesn't have dependents or people that could be leveraged or kidnapped or somehow abused in her name.
Yeah.
And she thinks her husband's dead. She can almost view this situation as she would have when it was her name in the ring for succession. And I think that's going to make her, on whatever side she falls in this war, one of the most valuable and incisive players.
Sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, at one point in time, somebody in the last, I think it was Vaemond, said that it should have been Rhaenys as queen. And, all of the fair decisions and counsel that she's given, despite being so wronged, as she rightly mentions when she's watching Vaemond be embalmed, but she's ultimately making decisions that benefit her house and the general stability of the realm, despite all of the hardships that she's gone through. So I think she would be a good queen, and we're kind of seeing that play out. In a way of maybe they did make a mistake. Maybe Jaehaerys did make a mistake whenever he chose our guy Viserys over Rhaenys. Now I refuse to believe that as now a Viserys fanboy.
Oh, of course.
But like overarching though, the characters in the show, despite the sort of shitty decisions and like bad acts that they contribute to or perform, mostly Daemon, they are not as bad of people as we saw in Game of Thrones.
In some ways, yeah.
At all. No, but I mean at all, because they seem to be way more level-headed than we saw previously, even with Alicent. Even if Alicent is the one that we're pointing at going, you schemer.
Yeah.
You know, she's no Cersei.
No, that's very true. Well, I think because things aren't so, like, things are just falling apart in Westeros at that time because of the downfall of the Targaryens and the usurping of the Baratheons and the illegitimacy of the children and Dany. Like, it's just, there's a lot going on.
This is still peacetime. I would say give them the opportunity to commit war crimes and they will.
Exactly. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Season 2, I imagine, will darken some of this.
I think so too. And Rhaenys, like, her decisions also, I think, make sense with, like, her aligning with Rhaenyra makes sense to me because of what we said since episode 1. They have this shared kinship of, like, I wanted to be named heir and I couldn't because I'm a woman, but now you get that opportunity, so I'm gonna not live through you, but I'm going to support you because that's what I wanted for me. And so there's that sort of kinship there. Yeah. Complicated by all the other mess that's
First
in
daughters instead of second sons.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
Exactly.
So I threw out a poll saying, who is the rightful heir to Driftmark? And I was surprised. 86% of our audience said Rhaenys. 14% said Lucerys. 0 said Vaemond.
Even though, like, technically, it's Vaemond.
Or Lucerys.
Lucerys is a bastard.
Technically, it's Lucerys.
Yeah, but he's a bastard,
because
so
the
it's
king
not.
has decreed that it doesn't matter that he's a bastard.
Okay, you're right.
But 86% for Rhaenys is a testament to how persuasive and honorable she seems next to these other people.
Well, exactly, because she's already been doing it for 6 years, and
because she has absolutely the worst claim. Like as far as how this universe works.
Yeah, but she would be the best option because she's not.
Right.
Because she's more level-headed than Vaemond, and she's, not a child.
Not a baby, yeah.
So, she would be a great ruler of Driftmark. So that's a real shame.